Hey, long time no see. I've been away. Plain and simple, I've been away. Because I needed to, but also because I wanted to. Not even gonna sugarcoat it. I am gonna go ahead and give a disclaimer right now that I am feeling particularly spicy right now, and that may translate in the video. I'm also going to give the disclaimer that this particular thing that I'm about to talk about may be very triggering to some of you guys. So much so that you may decide to unsubscribe from my channel. And if that is the case, do what you feel that you must. I want the people here that want to be here, plain and simple. And so if you are someone who's triggered by this, if you feel like this is a, personal attack on you of any kind, first of all, it's not personal, but if you're feeling triggered by anything that I say in this video, whether you stay or whether you decide to unsubscribe and go, it may be worth taking a deeper look at. And so that's what I'm going to say about that. I am fresh out of an ayahuasca ceremony, a 3-day ayahuasca ceremony. It's been a week that I finished this particular workshop. And as always, it was a very powerful ceremony. I may make a separate video about my particular experience this last time. I may not. I'm definitely still processing quite a bit. And so for now, I'm not really going to speak too much on my personal experience in the medicine. Although it is something, I will say it is something that I've done a good amount of times. So it's not that I'm new to the medicine at all, but there's just a lot that has come up. And this is kind of one of the things that has come up, and it has inspired me to be here and make this quick video, hopefully quick video for you guys. I give no promises, but we will see how this goes. I want to talk about energetics. I want to talk about subconscious programming. I want to talk about doing your work. Again, this can be very triggering, so if you heard any of that and already feel like it's not for you, go ahead and click out. But that's what I'm going to be discussing today. And the reason that I want to discuss these things and I feel a lot of importance around these things is because I had a lot of energetics and subconscious stuff come up through my medicine ceremony that has me, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it is like really jarring because it's like, oh shit, I thought I had already dealt with that, or like I thought I had healed from that, or I was past that, and then it's coming up and it's like re-triggering me. And so there is like feelings with that, but also I would say more than anything, it's been this like opening. It's been this mind opening, heart opening, energy opening experience that has really given me clarity around what this needs to be, what this journey needs to be. At least for me, I can really only speak for myself. I'm only going to speak for myself, but this is what I have come to find in my particular experience recently with the medicine. And so I want to talk about how so much of what we have come to know and understand today as the spiritual path and the spiritual journey has come to be a lot, for a lot of us, not all of us, but for many of us, we recognize it, or we have come to know it very deeply through the materialistic things that are associated with spirituality, right? So whether it's the oils, whether it's the candles, whether it's the sage, the palo santo, the this or the that, like, we get so attached to these physical items, which, definitely hold their importance and hold their place in the, the spiritual pyramid, so to speak. They have their place, and they provide their medicine and their wisdom, and that is definitely non-negotiable. I'm not debating that at all. However, I had this epiphany, this deeper sort of realization, or this deeper epiphany. I've definitely thought about this before, but I guess I never went much deeper into it. But there's so much, almost like hyper importance, that we put on these external items, so much so that we are almost expecting these external things to create our path and our journey forward, right? Like, okay, like, I'm gonna use this candle or use this oil to attract money. And I'm using that as an example because it's the most popular, it's the most well-known, but, take the money candle or the money oil, for instance. There's such an expectation and such a unhealthy assumption that we have that these items are going to, okay, like, I've dressed this and I've blessed this, or I've had this person dress it or bless it, and I'm going to light this candle and it's going to do the thing. And that's it. Like, like there's such an immense amount of power that we take from ourselves and put into these external things. And honestly, my question is why? Like, why? Why does it have to even transfer into an external thing? Do you ever, like, I just want to know in the comments, does anyone ever stop and question that? Does anyone ever wonder why there's such an emphasis or such an importance on the transference of power or energy into an external vessel? Why does it have to happen? Why is the energy inside of us already not enough? Because, and this is why I speak so much about sovereignty. This is why my channel is focused and based around sovereignty and the importance of doing your own work. If you are doing your own work, if you are in touch with your subconscious and you know what your limitations are, you know what your wounds are, you know what needs to be unblocked in your energy, you know what needs to be reprogrammed, you know what your fears and your triggers are, quite literally, you are unstoppable. Once you have a grasp and an awareness and an understanding around all of those things that I just mentioned, which takes work, which is the part that a lot of people don't want to do, they don't have interest in, it takes too long, it's too hard, it's too triggering, whatever. But once you have a grasp and an understanding of those things, really and truly, you find that you are past the need of the external item. You're past the need of the candle. You're past the need of the oil. you don't even really necessarily have to sit down and write a manifestation list. You could even be past that. Like, once you tap into those subconscious things, because what I'm learning and what I am seeing through my own journey is that your thoughts are not what's actually creating your reality. Your thoughts are not what is manifesting the things in your life to you. It's actually what's in your subconscious. And a lot of people are not doing enough of their work to even know what's in their subconscious. And so once you tap into that power, there's no external thing outside of yourself that you're going to need. Truly. And that's when you start stepping into the space of mastery. That's when you start stepping into the space of true sovereignty, is when you are advanced enough to be past the external. Everything is happening internally. You're such a sovereign being, and you're so masterful over your emotions, you're masterful over your subconscious, that you ascend past that need for the external tool. And so, you know, it's very deep stuff. It's very triggering stuff. And I understand that there is an uncomfortability around that. I understand that there is a very, like, triggering, non-traditional, you know, whatever around that. But the external item, the external, the oil, the candle, the this or the that, was never meant to be the end all be all. These are tools, you guys. Tools that can, again, lend guidance and wisdom and you know, assist you to an extent on your path, but they were never meant to be absolutely everything that we're dependent on. And that is what it has become. It has become this unhealthy attachment to these external things, to where people would rather put all of their energy and their power and their faith into that rather than into themselves. And I just, personally, again, speaking for myself, I see the limitation in that. I see the severe codependency in that. And I aspire to be past that. I aspire to unlock more. I aspire to have more confidence and more faith in myself and what I can manifest within my own being without the dependency on an external thing. And so it's very, very interesting. It's very interesting. For instance, I will share a little example of what it is that I mean, and this is very personal stuff. So keep your comments and things respectful. But yesterday I took myself through a clarity exercise, and this was like, you know, you answer a couple of questions and then you go into this meditations, brief meditation. And so the questions were asking, like, you know, the first question was, what are you fearful of? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of when it comes to having clarity? And for me, personally, I am wanting to expand as an entrepreneur. I am wanting to grow in my business. I am wanting to explore other avenues besides being a reader. But there was stuff that I was feeling, blockage that I was feeling coming up around that expansion, which is why I sat down to do this clarity exercise. And so I looked at this question of, what are you afraid of? And I came up with 5 different answers. So I believe I answered fear of failure, which is pretty common for most people, fear of instability, fear of the unknown, fear of a lack of control, and fear of rejection. Those were my 5 answers. And so then I moved down to the next question, which was something along the lines of, let me see. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of writing since getting back from ceremony. Okay, so the second question was asking, what are these fears telling me that I need? And so from there, my responses were, I need appreciation. I need acknowledgement. I need security. I need structure, balance. I need to be heard, and I need to be accepted. So those were my 6 answers regarding that question. Then the third question was, where in my life have I most needed this from? Or where in my life have I most needed this, and from whom? And so for me, like I'm sure it is with a lot of us, these particular blockages or, fears that I had mostly stemmed from childhood. And for those of you who don't know, I have a very deep, in the process of healing, but still there's a lot of work to do. It's very, very deep mother wound. And so my answer was, where in my life have I needed this? Childhood. Who have I needed it from? My mother. And so then it asked me if I could trace this back to a specific memory, which I couldn't really. I have a lot of memories from my childhood, but there was no specific one that, I guess particularly stood out. And so then from there, I went into the meditation. And so in this meditation, what I was basically guided through was I was told to recall a memory from my childhood, involving, this particular person that I felt like I needed these particular things from. So I brought up a random memory from my childhood, and the prompt was to recall that memory in its most authentic form. So recall it as you remember it happening, as close as you can remember, obviously, because it was childhood, it was a long time ago. So basically try your best to recall this memory in its most authentic way, the way that you remember it originally happening. And so I did that. And of course, those emotional triggers came up, that stuff comes up. And then I was guided to circle back and recall that same memory. But this time I was instructed to project my present self, who is obviously much, I'm older, I'm stronger, I am more aware, I have better boundaries, I'm able, I have more courage in terms of speaking up for myself. So I was instructed to project my present self into that memory and basically to speak on behalf of my younger self in that memory toward my mother. And, I won't get into what I said in that particular rerun, but basically the point of this is to reprogram your subconscious. So you are subconsciously, you are creating new neural pathways. And basically, long story short, what I got out of that exercise and out of that meditation, what I came to realize was that even though I had listed those 5 fears, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of instability, fear of a lack of control, fear of rejection, what I came to realize through doing this meditation and this exercise was that the fear of rejection was actually the strongest, because it stemmed from my childhood directly. It stemmed from my mother wound. That feeling of being rejected, that feeling of abandonment, of not having that assurance in my relationship to my mother. And that is what essentially is now causing certain blockages in my adult life, and also in terms of, like I said, expanding in my career. That fear of rejection that I have around expanding in my business, expanding as a spiritual entrepreneur, stems from my childhood. It stems from my mother wound. And although I was not surprised to have come to that realization, it was still so mind-blowing to me. It was so it literally felt like there was just this how you bring an outlet and a plug together. It was just this being cracked wide open, and this aha moment of, oh my fucking God. And there was a lot. I cried. I went through this stage of anger where I was like, fuck this. I don't want to deal with this. I'm so tired of dealing with this wound. I thought I had dealt with this. Being angry and frustrated about that. And then finally moving into this space of, again, opening, where it was like, okay, but I'm here. And I have this awareness now. And that's a gift. That is a gift. Now that I know what's really there, I can work with this. I can play. I can change the energetics around this energy to be more in my favor. And that is what I'm talking about when I mention doing the work, you guys. I know a lot of you guys get on YouTube and, you come and you want to tune into the readings, and you want to see what's going on astrologically, and you want to see what's going on in your love life and your money, and you're consuming all of this information via YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. But guys, the people that you're getting this information from are not perfect. We are people, and we are on our healing journeys just like everyone else. And it is my wish that you guys tend to your healing journeys as well and really do your work. Not just coming and tuning in when there's a new upload and, you're coming to get your fix and your information about what's going on in your love life and whatnot. And then you go on about your day and you're still in the same patterns and you're doing the same things and yada, yada, yada. This is the part where a lot of you will feel very triggered and called out. Do your work. Really do your work, you guys. Otherwise, all of the tools, all of the videos, all of the readings, it's all for nothing. It means nothing if you're not doing your work. It doesn't matter how many sticks of sage you have. It doesn't matter how many candles you've dressed, how many oils you have, how many readings you are gonna be, getting from whoever. None of it matters if at the end of the day, you're not addressing yourself and doing your work, you guys. That is what I stress so much about. And so Yeah, when I go MIA, just know that I'm doing my shit so that I can come back and have information for you guys and be the best version of myself. I will be here when I have things to say. I will be here when I have downloads, but I am not going to be here every day to feed your fix. I'm not. And it's really unhealthy. And if that bothers you, you know what you need to do from here. If you're doing your work and you are in the fucking trenches doing your work, you're not even going to be thinking about who's uploading what and, how much time has gone by since there's been an upload. You're not going to be thinking about that because you're going to be busy doing your shit, which you should be doing. So I just wanted to come on and say that. I feel like I just word vomited at all of you guys, but I've been wanting to kind of say that for a while. Love you guys a lot, but I needed to put that out there, and I feel so much better. That feels authentic. That feels good in my body. And that's the goal, is to be in our most authentic space, in our most real, empowered space. So, with that being said, we're just shy of 30 minutes. I'm going to cut it here. I feel like you guys get the point. Do your work. Put the oils down. Put the sage and stuff down. I mean, you don't have to put them down forever, but stop leaning on them so heavily. Stop using them as a crutch. If you feel like you fall into that category, it's okay. Have awareness of it and bring yourself back to a place of balance to where it's not the end-all be-all, but it comes back into its true form, which is to just be a tool. You are the person that is the vessel. You are the ultimate. You are the end-all be-all of what is filtering in and out of your existence, in and out of your reality. Not the candle, not the oil, not the sage, not any of it. Not the reader. I am not your end-all be-all. Readers can help guide you. We can facilitate. We can help you connect certain things and give you, help you gather more awareness. But again, at the end of the day, it's your job to then take that and apply it where it needs to go and be consistent with what you know you need to be consistent with and do your work, you guys. Love you. We'll see each other again soon, hopefully, but, love you guys. Bye.